Lockout Tagout programs are designed to establish safe procedures for locking and tagging out energy sources. This prevents accidental energy releases or hazardous conditions during servicing or maintenance. The core requirements of a simple Lockout Tagout program include the use of appropriate devices, clear procedures, comprehensive training, thorough documentation, regular inspections, defined removal protocols, and incident reporting. Firstly, utilize appropriate Lockout Tagout devices. This includes padlocks with unique keys, standardized tags, and various lockout devices designed for specific energy isolation points such as breakers, switches, and valves. Secondly, establish clear and concise procedures. These procedures should detail how to identify and lock out or tag out energy sources, how to verify the isolation of energy, and the proper steps for releasing locks and tags after work is complete. Thirdly, provide comprehensive training to all authorized employees. Training should cover all aspects of the Lockout Tagout program, ensuring that employees understand their roles and responsibilities in maintaining a safe working environment. Fourthly, maintain thorough documentation. This includes a record of all Lockout Tagout devices, associated keys if applicable, and the specific procedures for each piece of equipment. Fifthly, conduct regular inspections of Lockout Tagout devices, locks, and tags. These inspections should look for any signs of damage or tampering, ensuring that the equipment is in good working order. Sixthly, establish strict protocols for the removal of locks and tags. Only the employee who applied the lock or tag should remove it, and only after verifying that the energy source has been safely isolated and there are no remaining hazardous conditions. Seventhly, implement a system for incident reporting. Any incidents involving Lockout Tagout violations should be reported promptly and investigated to prevent future occurrences. For label printing, utilize a label maker to print clear and durable labels for existing company tags. The labels should include the name of the energy source, the date the lock or tag was applied, the authorized employee's name, and the key number if applicable. Additional considerations for Lockout Tagout programs include the use of group Lockout Tagout procedures when multiple employees are working on the same energy source. This involves a system where each employee applies their personal lock to group lockout device, ensuring that no one can remove the locks until all employees have completed their work. Establish clear communication protocols to ensure that all authorized employees are aware of the Lockout Tagout status of equipment. This can involve regular meetings, visual aids, and written procedures. Regularly review and update the Lockout Tagout program to ensure its effectiveness and compliance with applicable regulations. This should include an assessment of the program's strengths and weaknesses, as well as any changes in equipment or procedures that may require adjustments to the program. When it comes to the devices themselves, several options can be considered. Firstly, padlocks are a fundamental component of any Lockout Tagout system. They should be durable, tamper-resistant, and uniquely keyed to prevent accidental removal by unauthorized personnel. Secondly, lockout hasps allow multiple employees to lock out a single energy source. Each employee attaches their personal padlock to the hasp, ensuring that the energy source cannot be reactivated until all locks are removed. Thirdly, breaker lockouts are designed to prevent circuit breakers from being switched on during maintenance or repair work. They typically consist of a clamp or other device that secures the breaker in the off position. Fourthly, valve lockouts are used to prevent valves from being opened or closed during maintenance or repair work. They come in a variety of styles to accommodate different types of valves, such as bull valves, gate valves, and butterfly valves. Fifthly, plug lockouts are designed to prevent electrical plugs from being inserted into outlets during maintenance or repair work. They typically consist of a cap or cover that fits over the plug, preventing it from being plugged in. Sixthly, cable lockouts are versatile devices that can be used to lock out a variety of energy sources, including valves, switches, and levers. They consist of a flexible cable that can be looped around the energy source and secured with a padlock. The Lockout Tagout procedure typically involves several key steps. Firstly, preparation, which involves identifying the energy sources that need to be controlled and gathering the necessary Lockout Tagout devices. Secondly, shutdown involves shutting down the equipment or machinery according to established procedures. Thirdly, isolation involves isolating the energy sources by disconnecting or de-energizing them. Fourthly, lockout tagout involves applying lockout tagout devices to the energy isolating devices such as circuit breakers, valves, and switches. Fifthly, verification involves verifying that the energy sources have been effectively isolated by testing the equipment or machinery to ensure that it cannot be started up. Sixthly, maintenance or repair involves performing the necessary maintenance or repair work on the equipment or machinery. Seventhly, removal involves removing the lockout tagout devices and restoring energy to the equipment or machinery. When it comes to training authorized employees, there are several key areas that need to be covered. Firstly, the purpose and importance of lockout tagout, which includes explaining why lockout tagout is necessary and the potential consequences of failing to follow proper procedures. Secondly, the different types of energy sources and how to control them, which involves identifying the different types of energy sources that may be encountered in the workplace, such as electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic, and thermal energy, and how to properly control them. Thirdly, the company's lockout tagout procedures, which involves reviewing the company's specific lockout tagout procedures, including the steps involved in isolating energy sources, applying lockout tagout devices, and verifying isolation. Fourthly, the use of lockout tagout devices, which involves demonstrating how to use the different types of lockout tagout devices, such as padlocks, tags, and lockout hasps. Fifthly, the employee's responsibilities under the Lockout Tagout program, which involves outlining the employee's responsibilities under the Lockout Tagout program, including who is authorized to perform Lockout Tagout, how to report Lockout Tagout violations, and what to do in the event of an emergency. There are several key elements that should be included in the documentation of a Lockout Tagout program. Firstly, a list of all energy sources that require lockout tagout, which includes identifying all of the energy sources in the workplace that may pose a hazard to employees, such as electrical circuits, hydraulic systems, and pneumatic systems. Secondly, procedures for isolating each energy source, which involves detailing the specific steps required to isolate each energy source, including how to disconnect or de-energize the equipment, how to apply lockout tagout devices, and how to verify isolation. Thirdly, a list of authorized employees, which involves identifying the employees who are authorized to perform lockout tagout, including the names, job titles, and contact information. Fourthly, a record of lockout tagout device inspections, which involves maintaining a record of all lockout tagout device inspections, including the date of the inspection, the name of the inspector, and any findings or corrective actions taken. Fifthly, a record of lockout tagout training, which involves maintaining a record of all lockout tagout training, including the date of the training, the names of the employees who attended, and the topics covered. Regular inspections are crucial for ensuring the effectiveness of a lockout tagout program. Inspections should be conducted at least annually, and more frequently if there are any changes in the workplace or if there have been any lockout tagout violations. The inspection should cover all aspects of the Lockout Tagout program, including the procedures, the devices, and the training. The inspector should look for any signs of non-compliance or deficiencies, and should take corrective action to address any problems that are identified. There are several steps that should be followed when removing locks and tags. Firstly, verify that the equipment or machinery is safe to restart, which involves ensuring that all tools, equipment, and personnel have been removed from the area and that there are no hazards present. Secondly, notify affected employees, which involves informing all affected employees that the lockout tagout is being removed and that the equipment or machinery is about to be restarted. Thirdly, remove the lockout tagout devices, which involves removing the lockout tagout devices in the proper sequence, typically starting with the tags and ending with the locks. Fourthly, restart the equipment or machinery, which involves restarting the equipment or machinery according to established procedures. Incident reporting is an essential component of any lockout tagout program. All incidents involving lockout tagout violations should be reported promptly and investigated thoroughly. The investigation should identify the root cause of the incident and should recommend corrective actions to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. The incident report should include the following information. Firstly, the date and time of the incident. Secondly, the location of the incident. Thirdly, a description of the incident. Fourthly, the names of the employees involved. Fifthly, the root cause of the incident. Sixthly, the corrective actions taken. Group lockout tagout procedures are used when multiple employees are working on the same energy source. These procedures ensure that each employee is protected from the hazards of the energy source. The group lockout tagout procedure typically involves the following steps. Firstly, a designated employee is responsible for coordinating the lockout tagout, which involves identifying a designated employee who will be responsible for coordinating the lockout tagout and ensuring that all employees are following the proper procedures. Secondly, each employee applies their personal lock to a group lockout device, which involves providing each employee with their own personal lock and requiring them to attach it to a group lockout device, such as a lockout hasp or a group lockout box. Thirdly, the designated employee removes the locks only after verifying that all employees have completed their work, which involves requiring the designated employee to verify that all employees have completed their work and that it is safe to remove the locks before removing the locks from the group lockout device. Clear communication protocols are essential for ensuring the effectiveness of a lockout tagout program. All employees should be aware of the lockout tagout status of equipment and should be able to communicate effectively with each other about lockout tagout procedures. The communication protocol should include the following elements. Firstly, regular meetings, which involves holding regular meetings to discuss lockout tagout procedures and to review any recent incidents or violations. Secondly, visual aids, which involves using visual aids, such as posters and diagrams, to communicate lockout tagout information. Thirdly, written procedures, which involves providing employees with written lockout tagout procedures that they can refer to as needed. A lockout tagout program is not a one-time project. It is an ongoing process that requires regular review and updating. The program should be reviewed at least annually, and more frequently if there are any changes in the workplace or if there have been any lockout tagout violations. The review should assess the program's strengths and weaknesses, and should identify any areas that need to be improved. The lockout tagout program is a critical component of a comprehensive safety program. By following the procedures outlined in this program, you can help to protect yourself and your coworkers from the hazards of energy sources.